Welcome to Ocean in Emotion podcast. I'm Jonas Schroeder. This is my co-host Aiden Strubel. I'm a foreign exchange student from Germany. He goes to an American school in America because he's an American citizen. Our podcast is based off personal experiences, and I think it's pretty interesting to talk about. Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting because when you come to an American school as a foreigner abroad, you get many questions by the people and teenagers, children around that school, that country, that county, the place where you live. And
You guys have carnivals in Germany. Genuine question.
Carnival?
Carnivals. You know, like the Kanye West song?
What?
Like carnivals, like fairs. You know, like the fair we went to this summer?
Oh, sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, we have it just bigger. It's called Dome.
What?
It's called Dome.
Dome?
Yeah.
It's a,
It's like basically like
it's a dumb name.
what is it called? Like the parks?
A dome?
Like the big parks with the roller coasters and stuff.
An amusement park?
Yeah. Basically an amusement park, but just like you transport it with like trucks to there. And you can,
So a fair.
yeah, it's basically. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. You get so many questions, and I think instead of like every single person, to answer every single person the same questions, we will just gonna do a podcast with all the questions we like I got the last 4 months, and I think it's pretty interesting to talk about that topic and what is behind, because exchange students don't just appear in a school. There's like a long process behind that. And yeah, I think we're gonna talk about that. I just want to briefly explain what we're gonna do in this podcast. So we were just gonna talk about my experience and why, and general questions about an exchange year. Later in the show we have a guest. She's an expert. She works for the for a exchange organization, and yeah, it's true. So reasons why to become an exchange student, that's simple. It's like you want to share your culture with America. You want to get to know the American culture. I know in Europe you have like many TV shows like you have, but translated to our languages, so people or children that see that kind of like grow up with the American.
Do the mouths like match up or no?
What are you talking about?
Like
I mean, like Henry Danger.
Yeah, when they talk, do their mouths like match up? Or is it like...
Yeah. I think so.
Because like in some like animes, when my brother used to watch them, they'd be like English over, but like they would continue talking when the character's like mouth stopped moving, because it's like they didn't change the...
You watch animes?
No, I hate anime. It's my brother.
Gavin Hammermeister?
Yeah.
Of course he watches anime.
He used to. He used to be like a
Yeah, so I think many children in Europe grew up with the dream to experience America, and that's why many Europeans want to do an exchange here. I think that's a pretty good reason. So of course there are other reasons, like you're not good in English and you want to learn the language because it's an important language. I mean, it's a world language. Many people in the world talk English.
India.
In India.
Yeah.
And yeah, when you are here, you have some assignments like share your...
I'm missing like 10, man. Keep going.
I mean, like, you have to share your own culture. Many people or many host families expect to share something from your host country. Like, I shared nothing. But I will share some Christmas traditions, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's Christmas time, right?
Yeah, it's Christmas time.
Christmas.
I actually think that
Real good.
Yeah, I actually think there's like that's a way to say thank you to your host family because an exchange year is a lot of money. The costs like are around the costs are around like 8 to 15,000, but
Your parents are rich though.
it's like total different from organization, scholarships. It's like so different. I mean, I paid like 30,000,
You know.
and there's so many extra packages you can go with, like discovery tours where you like take a break of your exchange year and just visit Hawaii or something for a week with other exchange students, and
Wait, where?
it's different. You can like go to
Well, no,
West Coast,
You say Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Hawaii. Oh, sorry.
All right.
You know what you remind me of?
Huh?
You know that one Simpsons episode where they get this foreign exchange student from Albania, and then they
As an Albanian foreign you can't be an exchange student.
it's the Simpsons.
Ah.
But like they got a foreign exchange student from there, and then Homer Simpson like works at a nuclear factory, and then he like tried to steal the nuclear stuff so he could like bomb people. You remind me of that.
I remind you of that. Holy.
Okay.
What did I say?
So stuff about Christmas. You didn't go into Christmas.
Oh no, I said like I talked about the packages and extra costs you can add to your exchange. You like you can choose states where you want to go to, but that's pretty dumb because when you do that, the families don't want you there. I mean, I know a girl from Germany.
Rihanna.
No, she's from Switzerland. I know a girl from Germany. She used to be in my class, and she wanted to do an exchange year. She wanted to do an exchange year too, in Oregon,
In Oregon.
and she paid like
We get a pick.
5,000 euros extra. That currency is basically the same. So she paid $5,000 extra just to go to Oregon.
You can pick sometimes.
No, you have to pay extra.
To pick.
Yeah.
Why would you go to Oregon?
I don't know. She was in love with Oregon because probably her love romance books she read were in Oregon, and oh my god, the coastline is so beautiful.
I mean, that is true. We live in Nebraska. We don't have a coastline. So.
Yeah. And yeah, she ended up in West Virginia.
West Virginia. Can we get to Christmas, man?
I know, we already talked about Christmas.
What's a normal gift for Christmas in Germany?
Normal gift?
Yes.
I mean, like, a normal gift, you receive or you like give somebody.
Bro, it's like the same question. Like if you're gonna give a teen boy something, what would you give them?
A teen boy?
Yeah.
I
In
would.
Germany.
I would never give a gift to a teen boy in Germany.
What about in general, would you?
No,
You literally have. You literally are.
I'm a teen boy, but I receive gifts.
Yeah.
I don't like give gifts.
Okay, what do you get for Christmas in Germany?
Oh, that's a good question, Andrew. But
That's what I was asking.
Oh. So normally you receive like, okay, let's talk about the different. Christmas is with the importance holiday in Germany.
Is it more about Christianity in Germany, or is it more about the gifts like here?
I don't know. So we have many immigrants in Germany, and they do it for the gifts. But I think the real Germans, the OG Germans, cancel the OG Germans.
Do what?
They celebrate that because of the Christianity.
The Christianity.
Yeah, that's a word for me.
Christianity.
Yeah. I don't know. Many people go to the church on Christmas. Why are you laughing?
Christianity, man. What does that even mean?
Okay, many people go to the church in Germany for Christmas, and we have the story of Jesus told there.
That makes sense.
Like it's kind of theater.
A theater. Theater?
So little children play the story. I used to do that
I don't
with
think you,
14.
I don't think you answered my questions though, man. What do you get for Christmas in Germany?
Yeah, I just want to say the background story. And yeah, you get many gifts. I mean, my price range the last years were around $500.
What'd you get last year for Christmas in Germany?
I get a headset, a computer mouse. I don't know, it's like a pro Fortnite mouse. I think together they were like 300. Then I got a new desk, new computer like PC. What is it? Components?
What? Components? What? Components?
Components.
So like PC parts?
Yeah.
Like GPUs, CPUs?
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. I think my parents did that because they knew it's my last Christmas in Germany before I leave, and I will get nothing this year.
I mean, get nothing this year except for $100
Yeah, but
every Monday.
that's another point. When you're an exchange student, you give, you not receive.
That is a lie.
I mean, what I'm gonna give the Canfors, they will cry because they're so happy.
I mean, don't you get $100 every Monday that you spend on Ralph Lauren?
Not only on Ralph Lauren.
What else?
No, we're not gonna talk about my wealth.
How do you pronounce this brand?
Nike.
No, heck that.
There's another thing.
Nike.
Adidas is German and it's called Adidas, not Adidas.
Nike.
Okay. What we're gonna talk about now is
Nike. Nike.
how I wanted to become an exchange student. So
what?
in the 7th grade, so the German school system is completely different to the American, but I'm not gonna talk about that because we're already 10 minutes in and we have nothing done.
Yes, we do. Podcasters. Never mind.
I have like 30 minutes of the guest part.
Yo, Jonas. Bro, work. Okay.
Yeah, what I wanted to say is I wanted to become an exchange student because in the 7th grade we can choose if we want to switch our whole classes to English and do only like our lessons in English, so we completely learn everything on English. But I wanted to do that, but my parents said, no, Jonas, your English sucks, you're not gonna do that, and you will get an exchange student one day. And I said, fine, let's do it.
Yeah, your English does suck.
Thank you.
That's okay. Just kidding. Francis Gabriel Jr. You should get Francisco.
Yeah, I wanted to introduce a guest to you now. She's an expert for that theme, and we're gonna switch to another scenery. Bye.
Hi, I'm Deb Gravy, and I am an international exchange coordinator for EF Exchange Year. I am supervising IEC for Giannis Schroeder, so I'm here to answer his questions about EF.
Yeah. So, could you explain me why you choose EF as an organization, or like where you got in contact with EF?
I used to be the assistant principal at Plattsmouth High School, and the first time we had gotten into hosting, there was a student that was with another organization that needed a home because the home he was in wasn't a good fit. So we brought him home for the second semester, and we had a great time. So the guidance counselor at Plattsmouth High School was the international coordinator at that school. And he asked me one day if I'd be interested. This was after I had retired. So that's how I got into it. And I'm still here.
Okay, could you tell me what it takes to be an exchange student or what criteria they have to like?
Well, they should be very mature, have good grades, come with good grades, have good recommendations from their teachers. They do get interviewed by EF staff in their home country. They have to have proficient English, and there's a test that they usually have to take. And so you have to get to know English. While they're here in the United States, they're here to learn English. So at every opportunity, this is the best place to do it for them, is to speak English all the time.
So is it still possible to like do an exchange with bad grades or?
Not, no. And when we're talking about bad grades, I mean, if they're failing, why would they be here? It would be even harder for them. So there is a criteria. C is the lowest they go, and even while you're in the United States going to school, your grade cannot go below C. You can get, you can get yourself where you end up having to go home. It is costly for the parents if that happens, because they invest in this exchange year also. So yeah, it's pretty important.
So when your grade drops below C for like a week or something, is it?
If all it is then is if I have to get involved, and I'll just talk with you about it and say get that grade up. My husband and I have hosted several kids, and we just tell them get your grade up. It's not a big deal. If it stays that way and the student just ignores every warning, then yes, EF will send you home. They want these students to come and represent their country very well, and we want to keep having exchange students come to our schools.
So when we talk about sending home, is it like they will just buy you a ticket home and everything is over now, or?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you get in any kind of trouble. Yeah, you get caught drinking, smoking. There are been incidents of if you've been caught having sex, you can get sent home. And EF doesn't make any bones about it. They expect their kids to be well behaved. And you guys kind of go through that when you go to that welcome camp.
Yeah.
You kind of get told that really well, and I'm sure I don't know how they do it in country, but I'm sure you're talked about right off the bat.
Yeah, we did.
These are the things that we expect of you. So, yeah.
So is there like any special scenario where you get money back if like it's not your fault that you got sent back?
Ooh, I've never heard of that.
So
You don't. We aren't going to send you back if it's not your fault. So, for instance, if you're in a home that probably you didn't feel safe in at some point, we will find you a new home. Even in the same school, if we have to. A couple of years ago, I had a girl who ended up, she was on one side of Lincoln, and she ended up coming and staying with us on the other side over here. And I had her for a couple of weeks until I finally found a place for her right in Plattsmouth. She went to school. So if you are not at fault, but get removed from a home, we'll find you a new home. and we'll try to keep you in the area. Otherwise, you may go to another state. I have a student, and I think Thomas said this, who's coming from Oklahoma because her host family is moving away, and it must be it's a job thing. Anyway, I found a family here in Plattsmouth that's going to take her for the second part of her exchange. They're not going home. You're going to go home if you're bad, and that's the only thing.
Okay. Yeah. What are the benefits from an exchange?
What are the benefits? Well, for one thing, you as foreign exchange students learn an American culture, and I think there's so much curiosity about the American culture. As students in America, this is sometimes the only time they get to meet someone from Europe or Southeast Asia, and it opens their world up. You get to learn about each other's cultures, how are you as teenagers. You get to find out as an exchange student what family life is here, and I think you find that out when you start school, and all of a sudden you have football practice right after school. You're not getting home till 7 o'clock at night. You're starving to death. Where before, you would go to school, come home, kick back for a little bit, and then go out to a club sport. Here, it's, boom, early in the morning until at least 7 at night during the football season.
Yeah.
But every season gets to be real long. So, yeah, it's quite different. But every kid that we've had has totally enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that they had that experience.
Football was kind of hard.
But it was hard, very hard.
Other countries excluded from the program, like
There are, this next year, we are going to add Brazil as another country. But there has been a couple countries taken out. But mostly it's all of the European, like Germany, Sweden, Norway, the Netherlands, France, Switzerland, Italy, Spain. Those are the big ones that are usually, and that's where most of our kids come from. Austria, will come from there. But here's the funny thing, we even had a girl last year, of course, Conestoga would know her. She was from Thailand, but she was under the country of France because her dad was French, and Tahiti is part of the French Polynesia. So there are kids that come over that are from other countries. They might even be from Southeast Asia, but live in Norway, for instance, or something,
So, what about East Europe, like Russia?
No, we don't have any of those. No. And I think part of that, because it all stems from the Department of State. The State Department dictates everything we do, having these kids in the United States. So there are a lot of those countries that are not allowed.
So, when you apply, as an exchange student, what is the process that starts? How do you match families?
Okay, for me on our side, I match them is from interest and hobbies, and what are their likes and dislikes. The kids will tell on their application if they want to have siblings. Some kids don't care if they have siblings. Some don't care if they have little siblings. I had one girl a couple years ago, an Italian girl, who lived with a family and had 3 little girls. And those girls will have that memory for the rest of their lives. They loved her. So some people like being the only child. And I've had several of those because Tom and I don't have kids at home anymore. So that's something you can put right in your report. We have kids that will put in there they don't mind staying with the same sex couple, or like say a single person. You could, there's as many combinations on that part. But the big thing for me is I always look for interests. What are the interests that they both have? If they're a football family, then look for the football kids, or a soccer family, or or into horseback riding, that type of thing. Then you kind of look into those kind of families.
What is the process that host families have to go through?
The host families have to go through a 7-part application that it's extensive. Once they do it, then if they host again, it's always in the system. I, as an IEC, will come out and inspect their house. The kids have to have a bedroom of their own, or they can share with another sibling, and that has to be okayed with the natural parents also, and the student, the foreign exchange student. Yeah. You could, I look at the house, I take pictures of the home, and like I said, the bedroom has to have a regular bed in it. It can't have an air mattress, can't have a futon bed in it. It has to be a regular bed. They have to have some type of dresser or something to put their clothes in. A closet if need be. And a study, you might have a study desk for them. Otherwise, in most cases, they can study in the kitchen or, or in the living room, wherever they're comfortable. But those are must. The families have to make at least $25,000 or more a year. They cannot be on any kind of state assistance. And they cannot have any kind of record when it comes to like child abuse. They will go through a background check. Everybody 17 years and older go through that background check. So in that home. So if there are still college kids still living there, or a kid has turned 18, he will have to have a background check. I think that's it for that part. So that actually is the first part. I make sure they have a bed of their own, things like that. Then of course they do an application. I come and inspect their home. I do an interview with them. I check on 3 references that they put down for me, and their one has to be a professional, one or 2 can be friends that know the family, know how they interact with kids. So that's that process. Then they can sit down and they can start looking for, we have a catalog online, and they can start looking through for what kind of student they might be interested in. I try to be as helpful as possible on that part, because I think the best thing is to have that family match as close as possible. My best host families are ones that they have a kid that's totally involved, they love to go to games, they love to have this kid busy. Those are the most successful kids, and they have the best experiences. They don't, not necessarily, a lot of kids don't get to take big fancy vacations in America, but it's always nice. The host families are usually good about going places. Even if it's just in Nebraska. we have a lot of kids that go to Nebraska. A lot of kids come here. You'd be surprised of all states.
Why is that?
I don't know. I don't know. It's just a ton of kids.
I remember in the EF camp, on the one of the last days, we had like the state dinner, and I watched like at other tables there were like 3 kids. In Nebraska, we were like 40 or something.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't. I think it's such a curiosity, and I think too they find out that a lot of these kids that put in specific states that they'll go to, they never get, nobody ever wants them. Seriously, because if you put on your application specific states, then they usually, that says, well, I only want to go to these states like California or Florida. And that's always been the big thing. They want to stay where there's water, especially if they're from Italy or, you know.
Yeah.
But no, the ones that get places and get homes is in the Midwest, right here in Nebraska. They get a ton, and every little small town probably has one. You know?
I agree. Like Nebraska is a good place.
It is a
for an
good
exchange
place.
student.
Yeah, it really is.
Everyone is so welcoming and
Yeah.
interested.
I think the big thing is you are a name. You're not a number. Because those bigger schools, you just be kind of a number,
Yeah.
you know. So, but yeah,
So host families don't get paid here for
No.
hosting.
no.
And the question I have is like, we pay a good amount of money to be an exchange student. Where does that money go?
Well, it goes probably mostly to the staff. Every time I myself place a student, I get a check. Then every month I check on you, call you up, bug you, and all those things. Then I write a report on every student that I supervise, and I get a little check for that. There is so many staff members that take care from Boston, that take care of all of this, keep the wheels turning, you know, and so it takes a lot of people. Plus, there's people in Europe and Southeast Asia that are working also at all times. So there's a lot of staff.
Yeah. Why is it not common for like Americans to do an exchange to Europe?
I don't know. I have yet to figure that out. I remember many years ago when I was a teacher, I had an exchange student, I had a homeroom student that actually had an exchange student from Brazil. And the following year, she went to Brazil and spent a year. So there must be a program out there. I just don't know anything about it. So, yeah, quite a deal.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, my last point on the list is how do you show appreciation to your host family and
Every year at Christmas time, I order fruit baskets for each family and send and then have a card ready for them, thanking them for hosting. At the end of the year, I usually send a thank you card. I try to go to as many of their events as possible, which is always kind of appreciative for the host parents if I just at least come show up. And sometimes during during graduation time and the parents of the exchange student come to visit, I always come to introduce myself because a lot of times I'm the first contact before a host family sometimes, you know, so they kind of like to know who I am too. So
do families from the students come often over?
Oh yeah, yeah. A lot of them do. I think every one of ours has had families come over.
Except for
Oh, Lorenzo's didn't. Lorenzo's parents.
Lorenzo's parents.
But yeah, mine. In fact, they come stay. You know, like for a
We've
week
had
or whatever.
several parents
And
stay
then
at
we've
our
had
house.
stayed. Yeah, well, we've had other exchange students that I supervise. The parents always come and stay and visit, even if they stay in a hotel. Like Amadine last year from Tahiti, her parents stayed right in Omaha.
So did Valeria's.
And the
when
Valeria's parents
From
from
Italy.
Italy, they stayed in
They just
Omaha.
wanted to stay in Omaha so they could scout out Omaha, do a lot of things up there.
Do shopping and stuff.
Go to
A lot of times the parents are as curious as the students on American culture. Most of the time, I have noticed that when foreign exchange students come to the United States, they've been to New York, or they've been to Florida, or they've been to California, but they've never been in the Midwest. So this is always kind of a neat place to come and check out. The Swedish family that we had come, and they hung out for a week. Tom took them shopping 2 different times. They loved going to this mall, and they just shopped until they dropped. The
Ralph-
prices were
was
so
it
good.
Ralph Lauren?
Well, yeah, some of
Yeah,
this stuff,
they-
yeah.
There's an outlet store out there. They just bought all kinds of stuff because it was half the price.
Oh, where's the outlet store?
It's in Gretna. It's out by Gretna.
Right. It's out
Tracy
on,
will know where it's at.
right on the interstate out there.
See, Tracy, we got to go out to this outlet mall.
Yeah, we
I
have
got
to.
to go check it out.
Nebraska, what's it called? Nebraska Crossing.
Yeah.
Nebraska Crossing is called. Yeah. Yeah, I went with him twice that year. Because he couldn't find jeans his size in a lot of stores, And he says jeans over there in Sweden were like $120, a pair. He was buying the same things out here for $30. So when he
Yeah,
left, we bought him
stocked.
2 pair.
Yeah. Stock him up.
Stock him up.
Okay, Dan, I want to say really, really thank you that you helped me
Yeah.
and want to be part of the podcast. That was
Well,
pretty
thank you for asking. We really were excited.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, back here, I hope we learned pretty much. Some questions got answered, I think. Yeah, cause, reasons. I hope you guys learned something new.
Go over what we talked about.
I hope
So
you learned
basically,
some.
Christmas is the exact same as America. It's no different. What else? You guys pronounce brands like weird. Like Nike and Adidas. I mean Adidas. That's a dumb name.
Adidas.
Adidas. Yeah, shut up. And then what else? What did you talk about with that one lady? And how you can pay to go to a specific place.
Yeah, just a background. We
don't-
learned
I don't know
how
why you
exchange
do it
students
for
get
you.
matched with their family. Yeah, I think we learned something overall about exchange students and that they not just appear in American schools.
Yeah, good boy.
I want to thank you, our guests, Tom and Deb. Oh. I want to thank Tom and Deb for taking the time to be part of our podcast. And I really want to thank you for listening to our podcast and take the time, and I really want to thank you guys.